Dun, 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 dun. Time for some football, people. Yeah. I was like, hopefully that introduction was good enough to sound like the countdown that they used to do with Boomer. If not, hey, I was like, that's also cool too. Got my own thing going. Anyway, we got these Sunday games, week 2. I was like coming up, and let's make some of these game picks because I feel like I'm kind of like a Nostradamus on these. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Anyway, first up, Bears at Buccaneers, and if there was ever a game, I don't know what it is because I guess I still have a little bit of hope for the Bears in a way that makes it seem like no, they should win this one. But also the Bucks beat the Vikes last week too. That I think most people probably didn't see. But the Bucks is a pretty decent team. I was like, I don't think Baker is a bad quarterback. And I was like, the team still got enough people over from the Brady time that I'm like, no, they're still a pretty good team. I'm gonna pick the Bucks here in a very low scoring type of game. Hopefully, we get a better feels this game to where even if they lose, it doesn't look bad. But that's also why I'm not really picking them as well. And also, too, it just seemed like they didn't. They need to get more established. DJ Moore needs to get more established. There we go. That way, it's not sounding too much of the same word for them to have a chance to win. They didn't really implement him enough last week, or really anybody else at the receiving core either. Um, and unlike Fields, Baker Mayfield doesn't have the same type of reserve to launch the ball. So I was like, so that's why I'm also going to give it to the Bucks. I was like, don't get me wrong, Baker is also good to throw the ball into the other team every now and then as well too. But hey, I was like, I'm gonna go with the Bucks here for 200, Alex. Rest in peace. Uh, I had to remember. I was like, oh man, that's right. I was like, he's no longer with us. That's crazy. Chargers Titans. This is a game that the Chargers should win, but we all know the Chargers charge a lot of times in a way that makes you be like, why? How you have the game? That was one. But Tannehill's also looking like a reason that we over here be just trying to figure out who's going to be replacement if the other two backups weren't so young or in a way that was like not giving too much optimism either. So therefore, I'm gonna go with the Chargers to get a win, but I think that the Chargers are going to have a chance to give this game up at some point to the Titans in a way that's not like, oh, the Titans are fighting back or the Titans have been in this game. It's like how the Titans in this game makes no sense. That's what I mean by charging. Anyway, Chiefs and Jaguars. Now, Mahomes sort of has to bounce back, and I don't mean him. I mean Mahomes had to get his receivers to bounce back, get them going, and I feel like against the Jaguars team, that's going to be a hell of a game. It should be a hell of a game. I'm expecting a pretty high scoring affair. I want to say, I guess it depends on what you mean by high scoring, but I'm going to say 27-30, somewhere around there. That's what I'm thinking. Even though the Jazz got a pretty good defense, I was like, the Chiefs, they got an okay defense, but they got Chris Jones returning, so I expect that should help a lot in this case. Also, too, the Jags were in a fight against the Colts, too, so I don't expect them to be like astronomically like that much on the Chiefs unless they just can't get it together on offense. I am going to pick the Jags to take this game and put the Chiefs down 0-2. That's where I'm going with this one. Not that saying that the Chiefs won't get it back on track. That the Jags will just pull this one out. Anyway, Colts and Texans, the battle of the rookie QBs, and here I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think that Richardson just has a bit of a better line than what the Texans have. And I think the Texans are just going to still trying to fill themselves out. Stroud trying to get his stuff together. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who Stroud throwing the ball to. I can at least name one person on the Colts. But the Colts also got a lot more defensive player that I feel like will give Stroud a challenge because Stroud has been having a hard time with that. And other than Tunsil, the line is really just like, eh. So I'm going to pick the Colts to ease out against in this rookie affair. That's how that's going to go. Packers and Falcons. I think this will be a pretty good game. I was like the Falcons defense is a lot better than I think what people are thinking of. They made a lot of changes. I was like, and they got enough in the secondary too, also as well too, to give any type of doubt that you throwing the ball just anywhere willy nilly. But the Packers also have a defense. Now, good thing that the Falcons also got enough offensive weapons to where they should be able to, if they could come up with a good scheme, they should have that. I was like, they should be able to. This should be a really good matchup. I think both defenses are solid. We already know about the Packers. We already know about how their offense look. I was like, they got enough weapons and they play with love. So, and they got a good running game. We'll see if Jones is able to play here. I was like, I don't think he will, but I think this would be a good game. The I'm gonna pick the Packers. I think Atlanta will try to make a fight, but I think the Packers will be able to pull this out overall in the end and get the win. We'll see Raiders and Bills. I was like, for funs and giggles, I think it'd be funny if the Bills lost here, but I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think they bounce back. I think they shore up some of their mistakes. I think Allen's going to be a lot more conscious of just throwing the ball anywhere. But I don't think this is going to be. It's not going to. I think it's going to be sort of like a 17 round there type of game. I don't. I was like the Raiders don't tell me that they're just about to shoot out a whole bunch of offense like that. But I was like, but their defense could be scored on as well. So I was like the Bills. I was like I was like I think they'll minimize the turnover, but I don't know if they'll get in a crazy rhythm. We've seen what they look like when they're on point, like how they went down there and scored, and it would like Diggs had like the pass interference last week, and he was able just I was like last week, and then they were able to come with it. But I was like, but other than that, they've really been up and down so far. So, but I think the Bills pull out a win against the Raiders for this week. Um, Bengals and Ravens. I think Burrow and the Bengals will bounce back. I was like, I don't think they're going to have that bad of a game again. There's a lot of different conditions and stuff like that. That I was like not making any excuses, but Burrow just coming back and stuff. I was like, but I think they'll. I think this will also be a pretty. This one will be a pretty good scoring game while also being real, because they always have battles where they're like it's like nothing's going on, and then they both just hit like scoring, like they just hit the I was like they just hit scoring stretches at like the second half for some reason. And so I think that I was like they got a couple injuries on the Ravens side that I was like I don't think it's too crazy to like be like, oh, that's going to make them lose or nothing like that, but it's nothing that also is just it's like something that like Marcus Williams is out, so that means that Burrow should just have one extra person to not have to worry about. And on offense, Dobbins, he's not a big enough factor to me just because he's been hurt several times and they always got a plethora of running backs to always take in that spot. It's really more also just can Burrow get the offense rolling back again, and also can the Ravens like they scored like 22 last week, but it wasn't. I was like, but the scoring wasn't just like I was like, oh man, this revamp offense, they just slinging the ball. So I was like, but I'm picking the Ravens to take this one. I think I think it's just gonna come down to like a Tucker kick, to be honest. Seahawks Lions. Going with the Lions here. I was like the Seahawks are going to fall down 0-2. I think the Lions are just sort of in the groove where they got their defense is on point, and they got their offense how they want it with, and like they got the receivers. I was like they drafted. I was like tight end. I was like in a running back. And I was like Goff had been playing really well. I think Geno and them will bounce back as well. I was like, I don't think it'd be a bad game. I just think the Lions are just on the. I was like, I think they just got some momentum going on here. Where I'm just gonna, I was like, where I'm just gonna pick them for this one. Niners and Rams. Niners. I was like, unless Purdy is just over here just launching the ball all over the place. I was like, Niners. I don't think that the Rams have anything to really. I was like, I mean, not. I was like, not that won't be competitive. Like they're not gonna run away. But I think the defense is too much on the Niners for the Rams to really just overcome. And I don't know if there's enough to really also stop the Niners. But this is also the division matchup, and I was like, I've already said a couple of these, well, the division ones, but they sort of know each other in a way that's like this shouldn't be a blowout. I was like the Rams and the Seahawks played really tight last week, and I expect sort of the same here. But I think by the end, I think the Niners will end up pulling away from them. Giants and Cardinals. Guess it depends on how you feel about the Giants, but this also seems like a game of like and watch somehow it'll be the game of the week where it was just like 35 to like 30. They would just go back and forth. Watch, it'll be something crazy like that because the Giants had such a stinker and the Cardinals were expecting doo doo water from them, and watch, they'll end up being like the top game of the week while all these other games won't be anywhere close. They'll be like 15-17 or some bull crap like that. And this one will be like the one that's like, oh man, did you see it? And it's like, no, nobody's seen it unless you have red zone. That's it. That's the only way we're seeing it. I don't even have analysis for this game just because I just don't have anything really to say about the Giants. I was like, and the Cardinals, I just really just feel like they're just like, can we get a top quarterback here or not keeping Murray? That's really all I feel. I was like, I hope Dobbs has a really good game, and I hope that the Giants put together something better than that zero, and their defense actually show up as well too, because the defense wasn't. I know after I just said I have nothing here. I'm over here giving something. We're skipping. Commanders, Broncos. I was like, did I even pick the Giants? We're gonna pick the Giants. We're gonna pick the Giants just because. You know what? No, for the funny, Cardinals. That's what we're gonna pick. It's gonna be funny. They get a win way too early in the season for the draft thing, and the Giants go 0-2. That's what we're gonna do. Broncos, Commanders. I was like, I'm gonna go with Commanders here. I like Sam Howell, and I like how the offense is just run with they got like also a good amount of wide receiver, and how I was like, Hal's not. I was like, I'm not saying he's like crazy spectacular or nothing like that, but I think that he just had a good grasp on the offense. I was like, I was like, really right now, he's sort of like how Heineke was last year without like the renegade type of stuff. Um, I was like, but their defense is really good, and their defense is stout, and I think that's what's going to hold Wilson and stuff like that. Like I think they're going to do better than last week against the Raiders or whatnot. But I think, well, the Broncos got a really good defense too. You know what? I was like, I'll change it. I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I was like, I think I was like Sam Howell will just it might just have a. I was like he played the Cardinals last week too, so I was like we're gonna go to the Broncos. I was like I was like their defense is really good, and I think Howell's gonna have a hard time with their coverage scheme. And I was like maybe Sean Payne and Russell break out some things in order to get a win here that they didn't implement in the first game or something like that. I didn't really have too much for this one either. I was like, I sort of watch them, but I'm not watching them like I watch like some of the other teams that just passed, whatever. Jets and Cowboys. I was like, I feel like this is pretty much self-explanatory. I was like, I was like, I think the Cowboys is going to win, but I think that's because Wilson or something like that is going to do something to mess up more than anything. I was like, this is a really tough defense for both squads to go. I mean, for both quarterbacks to go up against. But Dak being more the veteran than Wilson, and I think they're going to have the offensive plan for Wilson be so simplistic that I think it's going to do a detriment to the offense in anything. So I was like, but I think the defense is going to keep them in there, of course, playing against Dak. But I think Dak, his line is pretty much is still all there. Like they gotta get something going with the running game, but they got enough. I was like they got Lamb, Gallup, and Cooks ready to go there. Where I think they could put a scheme together where it's like Lamb might not go off, but we also seen how pretty much they went on Reed's side instead of Gardner's side for the most part, and I think they're gonna do a lot more short passes than anything. Also considering how the Bills were being played as well, because with that type of they got more weapons than me than the Bills, so I think that they're gonna be a lot more like no deep passes. No, I was like, which the Cowboy. I mean, other than Cooks, they really don't have no deep passes like that either. So there's really nothing to worry about there. But also the defense for the Cowboys is just so fast that I think if Wilson was having a hard time there, and I was like, granted, he wasn't expected to get in there, so he'll have a better time with this week of practice. But I think that their defense is so fast that I think that the mistakes that Wilson was having when they had zones and stuff like that, I think their speed will be able to catch them up on some of those. Dolphins and Patriots. This one's hard. I was like, this one's difficult because I think Belichick, even though we give him flack because they've been like not really good the last couple of years. Belichick still sort of takes away what you're good at. But the problem is that, okay, cool, you can take Hill away. Boy, we got Waddle. What's up? And the other receivers also stepped up too. I was like, we also been getting Smythe and them involved. And, I was like, we're always pretty good in the screen game. And I was like, oh, Dolphins going to win this. But, I was like, I think also too, I like, but I can see Belichick like taking them paid out the Chargers and running the ball all on us. I was like, we're really fast, so I don't. The receivers aren't going to do anything spectacular like on us like that. But we're also very small in a lot of places, and I was like, I think that's where we're going to get eaten up at is in the run game. And I was like, we probably know that as well. But I was like, but we also got small like DBs and stuff like that too, and they got a lot of big like receivers and playmakers and stuff like that. Born on the small side, like 6 feet or whatever. But Juju's big. I was like Hunter Henry, he big. So I was like, but I'm gonna take this one with the Dolphins all day. Saints and Patriots. I think the Saints are gonna win, but I don't think it's gonna be an easy game. I don't think they're gonna blow out the Panthers. I think Young, even though it's his first Monday night matchup, I think he's gonna I think he's gonna learn from mistakes. Not saying that he ain't gonna make none, but I was like, it just won't be those again. And I think they'll be able to give a game to the Saints in a way that I was like, I feel like the Saints stats will all look good, but the game won't necessarily look good. If you get what I'm saying, I was like, they got a good defense, and I was like, they'll get the young. I was like, I'm not. That's why I think that he gonna make some mistakes, but I think that he showed that he can get them up and down the field to where the defense for the Panthers will be able to play a good enough game to slow down Carr and the offense. Even though he'll have good numbers, but the drive will just be long and staggering and stuff like that. But Saints. Steelers and Browns. Uh, Browns. I was like, I have nothing for Pickett. I was like, Deontay Johnson ain't gonna play. I think they just lost Hayward for a couple weeks. Peterson was out there getting roasted. Yeah, no, this is to me it's pretty much the game for Cleveland lose. I was like, not that the Browns offense been crazy, but their defense, Garrett, Garrett is going to probably take. He's going to eat Pickett. That's how it is. I don't see no other way about it. Uh, I don't think I don't think they have the line or the offense in order to get what they need to get the score on a Cleveland like that. Yeah, no, I was like, this is pretty much Cleveland's way to pretty much take the win. I was like, it's more their defense than the offense uh, at this rate. But I was like, but you're gonna have to watch that Amari and Peterson matchup, and I was like, the way that Peterson was getting eat up by Ayuk, I was like, I don't see why Cooper also can't do none of that either. But anyway, those are my picks. Bet on the ones that sounded good, where you didn't have no much of like meh and from me and my voice. And yeah, let me know how you do. If you like that, let me know. Tell me how they go. If not, hey, maybe next time. But until then, I'm out.